lengthy delay, but we had a ton of lobby issues. Finally figured out how to find the right host, but we are back into it. Maui Chums, Minnesota Floppr here in the Gold Division. Last week of the regular season here for Fall MW2. And of course, I gotta have the issues now, but it doesn't matter right now because Minnesota Floppr are on the point.
On the point, but there's gonna be Maui controlling the spawns for now. The kill is going the way of Minnesota early. And now the rotation coming in for Minnesota as they want to try to push these back spawns. But these players from Maui are wise to it, and they're going to try to make these plays. However, already you're seeing some Maui players spawning onto that P3 side. Back and forth right now, and the kills right now, I gotta say, are going the way of Minnesota.
Yeah, they're going the way of Minnesota, but it is Rez who is basically holding the spawns by himself, but loses it because the last player up, and there's a lot more Minnesota people across that 50 mark. But it doesn't matter. Rez finds two. Should try to get spawns back here for Maui. Minnesota is going to be on the point first, but Zoro realizes low and backs up a little bit here. Players hop on, but is going to finally find Rez. Now it's going to have to take over. Has no help whatsoever, so it's going to be Maui who are able to maintain those spawns and now hop onto the point. So that's going to be Minnesota fighting from the front. Looks like Open is going to be the first place to go, and you got Tenacity also fighting from the inside. Is going to get taken out, but that is 3 down. Make it for Minnesota. Great hold here on Maui.
And this is one of those situations that's kind of weird because now 35 seconds left. Do you want to try to break this? Do you want to set up next? There hasn't been any Maui players that have rotated it yet, and it looks like Minnesota is going to kind of half push this, half go to next. Maybe try to get some scrap time here. Peak, he's fighting for it. Finding one does get taken down, but now the rotation is coming in. Going to be a 2v2 gunfight happening on this right side of the map. Big gunfight wins here from Wiz, and Maui are in control of the spawns for next, having just taken the lead. Looks like Minnesota will take the, or I was going to say we'll take the lead briefly, but they're already going to try to get here to P3, and got to watch player number 2 here in Scrappy.
Yeah, Scrappy's going to be real annoying here, but is actually going to get called out and found out and will be taken down. If you're Minnesota, you can't lose that rotation. I mean, that is twice that Maui got the better of you on those rotations, and Minnesota is paying the price. Now Zoro going to try to go in with that submachine gun. Not going to work, though. Needs a little bit of a heavy machinery to get through this one. Zara is going to provide just that, but Rez, once again, continuing to fry, finds 2, keeps Minnesota at bay. And Minnesota only have really one good push at this before they have to consider chalking the rest of it up and head towards next.
And they were just put in a tough position on P2, right? Like, 35 seconds left, I think 40 when they came off respawn. Do you fight for that rest of that P2 time? I know it's 40 seconds we're talking about here, but we know how hard it is to break P3 as Maui looking to lock in this full 60. They kind of split push it, and it kind of bites them in the backside. I think you kind of got to commit to one thing at that point in time. It's going to open up a nice little lead here for Maui heading into this P4. Minnesota are there first. But Maui, can they break their way in? Or you got player number 3 going to the back?
Yeah, Magic's going to be there, waiting to see if he can get any eyes on Minnesota players. It does. Find Zoro on the side over by Dubs, so that's going to be an easy pickings for him. And Scrappy going to find Zoro at the same time. Here comes Maui coming in with the break. Now double check. Now double check up top. Tenacity's going to try to stay alive and try to make a play, but it's just for nothing right now. Zara is going to try to be the last one standing and try to make some noise, but it's just not going to be a lot. It is dead quiet here from Minnesota, as that first hard point was really their only good showing, as it's just been Maui. Won the first 2 rotations, goes over to P2 and P3. On P4, just had a nice, great, steady break that got them the points, and now they're just soaking up this time.
Zoro with a nice kill there. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because the first hill, Minnesota was getting all the kills, and ooh, Zoro with another nice one as well. Looking for a third, but does get taken down. But yeah, I mean, Minnesota gets all those kills in the first hill, and since then, Maui Chums, I mean, you're seeing it in the KDs right now. They are outslaying Minnesota heavy, and it's opened up a close to 100-point lead here to start this one off. Scrappy, another big gunfight win on the hill as well. And now it's going to be Maui getting those P3 spawns, and Minnesota once again will have to look for a break, but this has been all Maui.
Yeah, Maui continuing to go on to this next point here. So they are going to have a bit of splits here, as now Rez and Wiz going to come in through the back to try to help out Magic. He's basically the only one on point at the moment. Minnesota finally getting a good opportunity here to soak up some of this time and make up for those last few hard points. But right now, Maui still causing them some problems. Splits once again here. Wiz is going to be coming in over on that side. He's going to actually hop into the point, and we'll actually have some cover and a couple extra kills. Secure his safety for a brief moment there, but that hardpoint being white is going to be good for Maui. Minnesota need to be much more aggressive. They actually should be trying to eat up that scrap, but they are just going to back up and prepare for P2 spawns. But Maui are also set up for P1 as well. Interesting decision here out of Minnesota, who are down by 8 points.
And you got to worry about these players going through bottom art here. Wiz now being the only player left finds one, but that's a great trade there from Beaky to limit the damage. So now you know where all these players are spawning, and this is where you can put Maui in a little bit of a spawn trap here, but just does not look like they have the reinforcements up in that portion of the map, and Maui should be able to get through here. The kills once again on this P1 starting to go the way of Minnesota, and this gets interesting now because the spawn trap is set up. Maui's going to have to find a way to get out of this as Beaky is on a 10 streak.
Beaky is on a 10 streak on the primetime stream. Gotta give a shout out to our fellow casting member there in Beaky. 10 streak with over a minute in time. So Beaky basically running around for Minnesota right now. Has some help with Zoro as they start preparing to go over to P2. I apologize. Because Beaky's going to try to find one. Can't find a second. But we'll back up and try to reset. Actually has some help from Tenacity. So now a great rotation here from Minnesota. Puts them in a great position as the rest of scrap time is there as well. And Zara is just keeping Maui at bay. That's going to buy them at least an extra 5 or 10 seconds here on the point. So Minnesota finally getting a couple of great chains to get them back into this one. Wiz is going to use that missile, though. We'll have to see if there's going to be any trophy systems nearby, and of course there is. Now he's going to work their way towards the back here, but it looks like Zero has put a quick stop to that.
Now Maui's in that same situation Minnesota's in. You got to either play for the scrap time and go next because Minnesota's already spawning there. So you have to break this time quickly if you are Maui. Beaky's holding it down right now, finally getting killed, and Scrappy with a nice 2. They're going to continue to look for the rest of the scrap time here. Minnesota might fight it for a few seconds, but now is a chance for Minnesota. You have done a great job of getting yourself back into this game with these last 2 hills, and now you set up for this P3. A chance for them to now take the lead on this hill after it was looking really dire, but as we've seen, again, the first time around, this is a extremely hard hill to break, and now Maui's going to be on the other side of it.
I mean, we've been here before, right? Minnesota were here on the rotation the first time and got completely shot out by some machine guns, no less, if you remember correctly. But it looks like they're having a much stronger hold this time around. The setup is there. None of the purple arrows even remotely moving. They are in their places, and they are stuck in the concrete. They are not going to move for nothing, except a couple bullets there from Scrappy. He's going to open things up. Magic finds the kill, and now Tenacity's too weak to even re-engage in that gunfight. Zoro's now going to try to keep everybody back, but it's just not going to work. 2 more players here from Minnesota, but Maui's eating up that time. Beaky and Zoro actually do a good job of getting them out here, but Wiz is coming to, has to work quick here. Has to keep an eye on the rest of those Minnesota players. Does find one, now tries to find a second one. Zoro is weak, has to stay down here, but the point being white works out here for Maui, as they're actually going to hop on and get the rest of this scrap time, so that brings them about the 180 mark to go over to P4, and it's anybody's game as we head on over.
Yeah, tough situation there for Minnesota because, I mean, really coming out of that hill, which you were completely set up for, the scoreline doesn't change too much. You're about down the same amount of points you were going into it, so not the ideal hill for them, but now they're going to try to break this hill. I'm not sure how Scrappy didn't see Zara, but now taking him down and already the break coming in from Minnesota, there's going to be Magic's waiting for reinforcements here, kind of on the stub side, just trying to play his life, and now you're seeing all these players touch their bit with Beaky. The main man in this one for Minnesota is going to keep going is Scrappy.
Oh my God.
Going to get taken down by him as well. 27 and 12 at the moment, and it's just seconds away from Minnesota taking the lead. But Magic's coming from the back door and finding 3. The break is in for Maui.
The break is in, and they're going to hold on tight here. They're going to try to hit that double century mark here shortly. Minnesota has to be careful here. They want to totally overcommit because you see number 2 on your minimap. That's Scrappy. Was rotated over, but actually does get caught out. This is a good play here for Maui to try to get on over quickly and get these kills. But now they got to worry about the next point here, and Scrappy going to immediately realize, oh crap, Minnesota is over there next. Rez going to find one, is going to try to be a little bit of an annoying player here, but I think he's going to be ready for him as Rez now forced to back up. It gets caught on the sign. Kind of a tragic ending there for Maui. Minnesota going to be holding on to these spawns for next. Down 40 points, but could easily make that up here if they hold strong.
And Wiz, that's a big kill there on the Beaky because you clear that player at a cubby corner, and you can now kind of just work through the front without having to worry about that player. Rez going to try to get to the bottom maps. Does get taken down by Zoro, though. Pretty scrappy fight here on P5, but for right now, Minnesota is staying on the time, staying down. Scrappy does find Tenacity, though, so now that player on the point is out. You can see the reinforcements now coming in for Maui, but that's Zara with all 4 in the feed. And Minnesota, I mean, get on this time. Get some of this time right now. Split spawns coming in, though, for Maui once again on this P5.
Yeah, obviously got the killing going the way of Minnesota, but just the time hasn't been for most of this match until now. should be able to just about tie the game here if they hold on to the rest of this scrap time, but they are going to hop off of it a few seconds early to try to get a bigger presence over towards P1, which they will absolutely do. They will find Maui, and they will keep them out. Maui is still spawning close, but they don't want to get caught too much here. Now, both teams can win off of this point, especially Minnesota right now, if they just hold on tight, but that nade is going to cause some problems here. And now, at this point, I do believe that it's going to go over to P2, so both teams going to have to shift their focus.
I mean, Minnesota continues to be so good on this P1, and that's really, you know, given Maui problems because they've given up a lot of time in total in the first 3 hills. In this one, Reds finds the kill, but gets traded out by his teammate, and once again, Beaky there again, and they're just collecting so much time. I mean, it has to be like, it feels like it's got to be close to, you know, 80 to 100 seconds they've collected on this P1 in this game. I mean, it's just constantly, gotta watch for player 2 here, and yes, they can end it here. Actually, it is going to be Maui that has to break in, and they get the tick, so Wiz has to find this kill. He does. We are going to a P2. Player number 1 in Rez is over there, but he needs help quickly.
Yeah, Resny just kind of plays life as best he can, but can't get test forever. Now Scrappy just has to play ball and get on the inside. Now it's up to Magic as well, but the kills are going to drop here for Minnesota. One final play out of Wiz, but it is just not going to be enough. Good composure there out of the Minnesota Floppr in that map. They started off so hot and had a really bad few chains of hills as Maui just continued to dominate them, but the kills finally rang true, and they were able to come on back on that second set. Great plays out of Maui, and GG to Maui as well. They had a great...
If it translates to search and destroy.
Just one on in here with Maui. It's going to be Wiz that has the boomstick first. Here on the defensive side of things. Falls off throwing the grenade. I don't know if that was a touch or not. I'm going to assume it wasn't because I don't think I've ever seen that, but... Wiz going to work his way around with that boomstick. Bomb going to be insta-planted over at B here by Zoro. So Wiz in hand finds Zara. Can't hit him though. Rez does find Zoro first for that first blood. Wiz still just going to be on the lookout here for Zara, and Zara realizes, oh boy, I don't have a lot of options here, so I'm going to back up a little bit and try to re-engage. Scrappy also on a nice heady here by Sign, and picks Beaky off of the God heady. Great shots there out of Scrappy as it helps out up top. Grenade's going to come on down. But Minnesota at least staying alive and causing issues here for Maui.
I mean, the problem is they can't get the defuse in. Now it's going to be Magic's coming in from the top side, but you have to find this last kill. The timing is not there. There it is, though, and the defuse. Now, no, they missed it. They missed it. Oh, man, that is a little bit of a breakdown there for Maui because they had the life advantage the whole time. They just could not clear that top PD, and once they did, they just missed the bomb on the defuse. That is a tough round to swallow if you're Maui.
Yeah, not quite what we were looking for, but nonetheless, everyone feeling each other out here. It's definitely going to be a high-octane, high-energy map, like you said. So now a reset here. Is Maui going to start on the attack this time? And for Scrappy, you're probably pretty annoyed. I don't know why in the world dropped it. Maybe a finger slip. Not totally sure. Looks like Minnesota's going to kind of split things up a little bit. They're going to be a little bit late checking mid, but that's going to be okay. They are going to look for Scrappy, and they are going to notice that it's going to be another instant plant over towards B, so they're going to be ready for that one. And Zara going to see if anyone rotates towards the back, and it looks like Rez will be the player to do so. He's going to run into 2 players. Going to kill Zoro. No, he cannot. And Tenacity picks up Wiz as well. 4v2 situation here for Minnesota.
Now if you're Scrappy, you go down, and Magic just so far out of the play that I don't even think he's going to be able to check this defuse. So this will be another round to Minnesota here. Just waiting for 2 players on the backside. Just never came that way, and then your teammates fall around you on the rest of the map, and that is going to be an easy defuse there for Minnesota. Easy retake for them, and sound stuff so far.
Good start here for Minnesota. I mean, they kind of got lucky in the first round. They were basically gifted that one. Definitely shouldn't have taken that one, but a drop bomb is a drop bomb, and the score is true, 2-0. And now back on the attack we go. Let's see what they decide to do. If they're just going to keep going with this insta B. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't at this point. I don't know if A benefits them quite yet. So definitely think that is going to be the play, and it looks like it will be so. 2 players, though, from Maui Chums are going to be looking down mid, including a sniper. That's on just pops, but Rez is there. The trade comes in. Zara going to try to get the quick plan here. Scrappy is going to check this, and it looks like it's going to be Zara who's going to take up top and will prevent the kill of the planner. And now it's going to be up to Wiz in a 1v3. Has the pistol out. Now a 1v2 situation. Finally gets another gun. It's not a sniper rifle. Daznev in hand. 30 seconds here. Has the sniper. Going to check up top. Nothing quite yet. Can't quite find Zara. Beaky is also hanging around here, and Wiz just has to get a peek of somebody here. It's going to be 18 seconds on the clock. Going to be looking for either or. Oh my God! Through the wall, Wiz finds Beaky. Now checking the other corner. Zara just has to sit down. He's going to throw that nade. Will most likely get him here. Gets the stick. Gets the kill. How in the world did that shot ring true like that? My goodness.
Yeah, that's Beaky's probably scratching his head there a little bit because, I mean, just right through that wall, but obviously with still not much you can do with Zara sitting up there 10 seconds on the clock. You just kind of have to either choose to get the kill and lose the round or try to go for the defuse where you're also probably going to lose the round. Minnesota takes that round. I think if you're Maui, you just need a little bit more presence on that B side defensively. Minnesota is kind of taking advantage of the light numbers and, you know, even though Scrappy was there to try to get some kills, there's just so many players on that side from top PD that, you know, he's just not getting traded out, and it's putting Minnesota in the life advantage constantly. But it looks like now Maui going to try their luck on the A side, and Beaky going to back up with information in hand.
Minnesota going to lose their first player here with Zorro. They realized quickly that it was going to be an A push here. And oh my God, Tenacity with the submachine gun. Weak, but does not care. Finds that second kill onto Rez after taking down Wiz. And now Beaky's going to take down Scrappy, and Magic's left alone. Another impossible clutch situation left in the hands of the Maui Chums. Bomb is dropped as well over by Xbox. So Magic's going to reveal his location rather quickly, trying to get rid of Beaky. Going to have to try to get everything you can get. 36 seconds on the clock. And I just don't know what option you have here if you're Magic's.
No Duddy as well, as that just ran out, so it just makes the job even more impossible. And they have an idea of where he is. Beaky gonna try to get any info he can. Takes him down with that headshot multiplier. You gotta love it. Just a quick 3 pop to the head, and that is gonna be 4-0 to Minnesota. And they just look so dominant on this map. What was such a back and forth map 1 is very one-sided here on the Search and Destroy.
I gotta love whenever you talk about headshot multiplier. It just makes me laugh so much because I know you're let's call it a disdain towards AR players.
You could say that.
You could say that, and I will say that because that's 100% true. It's still a sub-world at the end of the day. I mean, I don't know why we're arguing about it, but it's all right. Attacking side here from Minnesota. Over to A once again. And that nade's going to find Tenacity there from Scrappy. Good start here for Maui to keep Minnesota back. So now the quick plan strategy kind of at the window. Zorro is close with the bomb, though. So it's going to be Minnesota who are going to have to try to find a couple of kills to kick this one off. And they also see 2 players for Maui also by that A site as well in case they decide to wrap around. But I think Minnesota is going to stick with B here.
I mean, Maui does exactly what they needed to do. They send more numbers over to this B side, and it eliminates that quick plan. It eliminates that pressure on you. It is still Minnesota with this positioning, though. And yeah, Zara with a kill there. And now Maui gets a little antsy, so they've spread their numbers a little bit. Number 8, though, in Scrappy should be able to find this kill on Beaky, you would imagine. You have to get this kill if you're Scrappy, but he might be in trouble now. Oh, he does find the kill big time. But he's now left in a 1v2. Is on the other side of the map. The kills go the way of Minnesota. So once again, Maui is just left in a 1vx situation. I mean, this time 1v2, and it is Scrappy who has looked the part for Maui. So let's see if he can do something. I mean, they need something here. You cannot drop this round and go down 5-0. Finds the first one on the Zara, looking top PD. That player's not over there. This is a big chance. No Deddy, though, with the trophy player. So he's definitely, you would imagine, going to be heard. Now just dancing around at this point. He is convinced that there's a player top PD, but now we're going to get found out. Zorro with the kill. Minnesota off 5-0.
Yeah, what a great route there out of Zorro. And I gotta assume...
Sorry.
Oh, Zara, sorry.
No, it was Zara. It was... man.
What are you doing to me?
I'm getting mixed up by these names. I mean, they are way too similar.
You can't mix up the members of ZZ Top, okay? Zara and Zorro, all right? Zara and Zorro. Say it with me now.
That's on me.
That is
Things happen.
Interrupting my call because somebody can't get a name right. That is wild. We've been duoing for a while, and he still finds ways to surprise me every now and again. It's all good, though. Maui, though. Down 0-5, man. You're in a bit of a pickle, to say the least. So you're going to try to shake things up. You're going to try to go A, but Beaky has the sniper out. Finds one. Try to find a second onto Magix, but a couple shots out of Scrappy keeps him away. Tenacity has a great flank opportunity here. He's going to fire some shots. Only has a sub, though, so can't quite hit the range. Zara, though, is there for the cleanup, and now bomb is dropped. It's up to Wiz and Magix in a 2v4. Another majority wins Minnesota situation here. As now Maui only have Wiz to try to keep this map 2 alive. And I don't know what you can do here. I mean, bomb is dropped. I think Minnesota knows it. So it's going to have to just be a play in the middle. Tenacity shoots up top, and it's just going to be a quick 6-0 sweep here for Minnesota Floppr as they take the dub here on Embassy.
Yeah, I mean, interesting again with what we've seen on that map number 1. I thought it would be closer, but the guns for Maui just did not get settled in the search and destroy. And for Minnesota, it was just consistently putting Maui in tough situations, whether it be 1v3s, 1v2s, 1v4s. It did not matter. And, I mean, that's a very easy win there for Minnesota. Yeah, there we go. Minnesota.
You're doing great, bud.
Look, there's too many M and Z names in this lobby. I can't help it. But, I mean, look, if you are Maui in this situation, I feel like that's kind of a map like you just got to put behind you. I know you're down 2-0, but you know that this series should be closer from what we see in map 1. You know, okay, we got slammed on a search and destroy. It is what it is. But now we have 2 respawns coming up. You know, you get these 2 wins, and then you go to a map 5 search and destroy. Anything can happen. You'll have the momentum on your side. I know that was a convincing win in search and destroy, but all I'm saying is don't count Maui out yet. I just think if they can take this control, kind of, you know, gain that momentum going forward. We know that they have slaying ability in the respawns. Just gotta kind of keep a cap on B key. It definitely could get interesting, but they need to make some magic happen fast.
You know, usually whenever we have like casters playing in a match on stream, it's usually us, and we're usually kind of terrible. But Beaky kind of carrying the weight, so I'm sure his back is hurting right now for the casting team here. Not to throw any shade on the rest of the casters that we have here, but I could just tell you from at least 3 of them that we're not good. So I'm glad that Beaky is holding it down for us. But, you know, I'm with you on this when it comes to Maui. I still think that there's definitely an opportunity for them here on the hotel control. I definitely think this is something they can kind of come back with. I mean, I don't totally think this is a all lost scenario. I mean, obviously you have to pull the reverse sweep off, which is going to be easier said than done. And map 4 is going to be Hydro if you get there. Yeah. And that's going to be tough against Minnesota's seemingly superior slaying ability. But, I mean, you still got Scrappy here. And Scrappy has still been showing out. Just needs a little bit of extra help here on this respawn. And that's what I'm looking to see here. I definitely think this is either a 4 or 5 round control at the very least.
Yeah, and I would hope so. And I just hope that Maui isn't too, you know, scarred from that map 2. And I think you just got to put that behind you quickly. If you are Minnesota, though, I mean, this is an opportunity to pounce here. You get defense round 1 as well. So it's a good chance to, you know, put round number 1 on the board and then keep carrying, you know, all the momentum that you've had so far. But Maui, I think this is a big first round for them. If you can get that offensive win, I think that maybe starts something, maybe sparks something for this team, but they need to do something fast.
Speaking of fast, it's going to be a fast A hit here for Maui Chums, but they are going to be found out here by the rest of Minnesota here. Scrappy and Rez find 2, open things up a little bit, but Zoro is there to clean up the carpet side. And now we'll try to play to Scrappy's tune there, but can't quite find the kill. Scrappy will finish that one off with the AR, so at least 1 tick, likely 2 here. And Minnesota probably considering just abandoning. I didn't think I'd see a Lockman in gold. I am absolutely kind of flabbergasted that I'm looking at this weapon. But regardless, the Lockman is out and about, and we're going to see it across the map here. A couple of trades back and forth. Rainbow feed. A is still not quite captured. Zoro tries to keep it alive, but this last stack should secure that A site. So good win here for Maui. Lives are even, but there is now an extra 60 seconds to work with as we head on over to B.
Minnesota has that forward positioning, which will help them out, and Tenacity is also watching the back as well. So now the game for Maui here is, what do we want to do? Do we want to clear out bedroom and get these players out of that side? Funnily enough, actually looks like some Maui players spawned back parking garage, so they'll be able to spawn up and try to get these kills, which they're doing. Bedroom already cleared, and now the kills coming in. This is the opportunity here for Maui. Tenacity has to go big, at least getting 1 and staying alive. This is big, because now these players off a respawn will be able to help him came out, Zara being one of them, trying to get these shots on Scrappy, though, with the kill. Does get traded out, but Wiz now trying to make a play. That's a great play, though, from Minnesota and Tenacity. I mean, Tenacity gets that kill and stays up, and it really limits the damage.
I don't know how in the world Maui got that spawn, but they ended up getting lights. And they spawned there, and they're not going to have a pretty easy hit. But, I mean, it's Tenacity and Zara who are just firing straight beams, keeping Maui away. It's going to be Magic, who just going to have to wait for the rest of the team to get there, but has to keep an ear out for Zoro, who may be moving about. Magic actually finds Tenacity first, and Zoro's going to clear out that bedroom side. That's big for here for Minnesota. Because now the rest of Maui has to try to make their way on through. Biki's going to be there at that desk. Everything is covered here by Minnesota. Wiz finally finds a hole in the backside. Now has to try to make the most of it here. 1 or 2 more kills onto some Minnesota players would help. But that spa spawn over there is certainly not going to help them. So now one more pinch here. Maui Chums running out of time here. 45 seconds on the clock. Good couple of kills here out of Scrappy. He's going to try to find a third, but Zara fires the first few bullets and is able to get away safely, and Rez is nearby as well. And Minnesota's spawning out here, so this is a chance here for Maui if they can find a couple of kills.
Yeah, I mean, they have a pinch opportunity. They just got to collapse on this and find these kills, but Zoro and Zaro combined to get 2. Scrappy now left up on this side of the map. Biki takes him down, and now just like that, Magic will be left alone in bedroom here. Getting that first kill, that's going to be 2 down. If you can find this third, that's a huge kill, though, by Zoro. Getting out with their life as well. Now Biki trying to hold this down for this side of Minnesota. You got one more hit at this. If you're Maui, you got to go.
You got to go right now, but Biki is just keeping them at bay. Now no lives left. Biki is just firing on all cylinders, and so is the rest of Minnesota. Great, great defensive round. That was 2 minutes of just straight slaughtering. Maui had a good hit there onto A to pick that up rather quickly, but as soon as it got over to B, it was the purple show. Minnesota not letting anything go. They had no ticks over onto B, so +3 here for Maui as we head into Minnesota's attacking round.
And I want to state again, I think that play by Tenacity is round saving. You get that kill, you stay up, and it just allows your teammates to come back, and then you can still pinch it as they're expecting somebody from that couch side. That really seemed like it was a round saving play, and you know, Maui, they take him down. You get a 3 to 4 stack on that point. It becomes a tough situation for Minnesota. Instead, Minnesota take that first round, and now they'll try their hand on the offensive side. It looks like they are favoring this A side to start. Rez, though, playing in a little bit of a cruddy corner, but gets found out and will be taken down. So that stack coming into that A side for Minnesota.
Good stack here for Minnesota. Good few kills as well. Was going to find one, but the trade is there. So now Scrappy's going to try to make a play, but once again, Minnesota hop on. But look at Biki. Sneaky Biki-like hopping over to B. And it's going to find Rez as well, so that's going to open things up, and that's going to force Maui to just have to try to make a play here. And Biki is probably going to know where the spawns are. There's going to be at least one, but is going to find 2. But Maui do a good job of keeping that at bay. Rainbow kill feed once again will allow Minnesota to get the rest of A. So over to B we go, but that's a good statement. They get themselves up 4 in the life advantage as they head over to B. Ticks are now tied. 2 minutes to go here in this round.
Lives in the advantage of Minnesota as Tenacity finding that kill on the Wiz. It looks like they're going to try to maybe hit the backside or hit through single. We'll see what the plan is, but Magic's in that top bedroom area. You have to be aware of that. Now Wiz coming off a spawn. Can he find the kills? Help potentially in the form of Rez. He doesn't need it though. Now Tenacity going to be up trying to find this kill, and
whoops,
he does take 1 down, and now Hood's going to try to be a problem as Rez is on the chase, but this is one player in the back here from Minnesota. You got to worry about it. The problem for Tenacity right now, though, is those Minnesota players running very, very far out.
Yeah, so Taz is going to try to get out of dodge here, and actually puts the moves onto Wiz. So now having to commit 2 players, so they finally do figure that one out. But now Minnesota's going to open a hole in the center of the map here, and they do get a close spawn. Look at Tenacity, spawned over at Lights. Spawned over at Lights, has to try to find this player, and Magic's up top of Magic's is going to gracefully win that one here from the top rope. Zara's going to try to make the play now. I don't know how in the world that spawn came through, but they did get it, but it didn't much lead to anything good for them. Now Zara going to try to make a play in single, but now good spawns here for Maui. Good hold here for Maui.
And now the lives even up as well. So this is a good situation here for Maui. 43 seconds left. You probably have... You have 1 more push at this, maybe 2, but you got to start finding these kills. There's going to be Zoro in the back. But Maui's been very wise to this. They've been shutting this down time and time again. As I say that, though, Rez going to get taken down. Zoro Going to get traded out, though, by Magic. That's a big kill, as Minnesota just cannot seem to chain some kills together to be able to move up to this point. Probably got one more hit at this with 19 seconds left. They have good positioning. They just have to find the kills.
Just have to find it, and they're going to be close enough where they can start to make this play. 10 seconds on the clock. Got to find a couple of kills, and they do. Zoro and Beaky open things up. Now they're going to stack it up. 9-9 here on the lives, and 7.5 to go. Beaky going to try to keep an eye on matches over by Couch. Zara is going to look over towards those D1 sides, but Wiz is going to find a kill into Beaky. That's big. Now Maui have an opportunity, but they got to push on in from the middle, and Maui do find the kill in Tenacity. Zara finds Scrappy. Rez is going to be there for another kill into Zara. And Zoro basically the last one up, but Beaky's there as well. Actually, we'll be able to hop on the point with less than a second to go. It's going to find Magic. Now the rest of Minnesota spawning way out. So they're going to have to try to rush on over there, but look at the lives. It's 4-3 here. No lives remaining for both squads. Beaky can't win the gunfight. Maui barely staying alive there on that one. That was closer than it needed to be. But Minnesota actually do end up getting 2 ticks out of the whole ordeal there onto that B site. So that'll be a +2 going into this attack for Maui.
Yeah, well, and that's just, you know, Maui there in the end. They give up a few ticks, but it's just the fact of Minnesota got those close spawns, and Maui is spawning out over toward shop. And it just allowed Minnesota to move off the map, get to positioning. Maui is lucky to escape with that round victory, though, and they'll be happy enough with that. But as you said, down 2 ticks. So we'll see if they can catch up in this round. It looks like they're going to try to hit through A and through mid here. Try to find these opening kills.
Opening kills go the way of purple. Tenacity finds one. Zoro's going to find another. So, bit of a rainbow feed to kick this one off. Beaky's going to be the last one over onto that A side, and is actually going to find the lineup there. Magic's and Scrappy falling way to the optic way as they lined up there for Beaky there. So now A, not much contesting going on, but Magic's finds one before Rez comes in with a flag. He's going to find Tenacity as well. Look at the movement here out of Rez. Just making sure that no one from Minnesota feels safe in any corner by this A site. He's going to find Zoro towards the back as well as the rest of Maui hops onto A. This should be an A grab, and I think Minnesota are going to have to worry about B, and it looks like they will do so. Just going to leave A to the dogs here as Minnesota just start preparing for next.
Yeah, and you're fine with this. You're fine with giving this up and getting this positioning. You drained a little bit of time on the clock. It is going to be about 1:50 on the clock here for Maui, and lives are tied. Scrappy with a big kill there. Rez as well. Depending on this positioning here, if they can get into spa, they could spawn Minnesota out, but you still got to worry about these 2 players on bedroom side. Zara with a big kill there on the Scrappy. So back to the drawing board here for Maui. Let's see what they elect to do. Looks like they might be trying to continue to hit through mid, maybe try to clear out this bedroom. I think that's going to be a big part of this, is trying to get these players out of that bedroom side.
Side here for Minnesota as they continue to keep Maui, but keep a look at Magic's here, number 3 on the minimap, just sneaking around full crouch style. Beaky might be ready for this, though, might be reading this. Not sure yet. They do have 2 players in the back. It's going to be Zara and Beaky who are ready for that player if they do decide to come through. But Minnesota, just keep it Maui array right now.
I mean, this is a great play by Magic, but it doesn't really matter because his teammates around him are not getting the kills, and I think Beaky, he did not spot him, actually, so Magic is still behind, but they know they're missing this player, and now that information is going to be granted as Magic does take down Zara, so now Beaky will have to try to find this kill. Magic's a nice little angle there, getting these kills, and that's going to allow Maui to move up, but you got to worry about these players on the pinch. Zoro from bottom lights right now is going to be the issue. Now players from the front, the kills going back and forth at the moment. Beaky going to try to find this kill on the hill and does. So Minnesota survives for the moment, but that is going to be the tick there for Maui.
Yeah, big tick there, but can they continue to push on through? Looks like they cannot do so. So now Minnesota has them basically dead to rights. Almost out of lives. Here is Maui, 13 seconds on the clock. Maui just want to make sure they get a few kills to kind of go home with. One more push, perhaps. 6 seconds on the clock, but Zara's going to be there. Rez actually finds an opening, but is going to get taken out rather quickly. So Magic's going to take down Beaky. Going to try to hop on the point, but can't quite get there in time. Jumped essentially the wrong way. So Minnesota end up with 4 ticks on that one. They will also be up +2 going into this attack round for Minnesota. And Minnesota actually in a decent spot here, and I really like what I'm seeing out of Minnesota. Now, Maui did have a good defense last time here, but it wasn't without issue. There were 5 ticks on the board for Minnesota when they came out of this. So I think Minnesota's still in the strongest situation.
Oh, Minnesota definitely feels like they're in the driver's seat because you essentially just have to capture A here, which you would imagine does get done, and then you have defense to fall back on if you don't win that offense. So we'll see what the game plan is here. I think if you're Minnesota, you almost just want to guarantee you get that A zone. Don't do anything stupid as they're going to try to hit through this mid area here, and already Maui getting those opening kills. So not the ideal start here for Minnesota, but plenty of time. Don't panic, and look at those spawns. They're getting over toward A side, so they should be able to move over. Yes.
You gotta love the freezer spawn. Got it anyway. And I think it's just because the Beaky's over in B and just kind of waiting. I mean, I'm not... This is an interesting play. They just have Beaky just waiting over by B, which is going to do something to the spawns. Does get found out there by Wiz. I'm not totally sure what the thought was there. I guess the thought was you lose A, you could quickly hop on over to B and cause an issue. I'm not totally sure what the play was, but regardless, they are still getting spawns over by A side. So they are still going to go for this one, but Maui are just locking it down right now. They cannot kill the slithering python that is Magix, who's on a 5 spree, continues to take down the guys in purple. And Maui just has them pushed back into the spawn right now. Has spawns influence over towards that B side, but Minnesota cannot find a way through.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a terrible play call. I'm not gonna lie, out of Minnesota. You just need those 3 ticks. Now you're in danger of having to play offense here in round 5 if you can't get on to A. They finally get themselves over there. Tenacity with 1 kill, and they gotta still find Magic. I mean, this man has been snaking there for about 60 seconds. My hands hurt just watching, but Rez from the backside, they get the kills, and I think Minnesota should be able to lock this in now. That is a interesting play call, as you said, though. Considering the circumstances, it just didn't feel like the right place, right time. They will lock in this A point, though, so Minnesota confirmed defense here in round 5.
Yeah, but they have a lot less time to work with now on the B site. It took them so long and a lot of lives just to get the A site, so now they're basically playing with a handicap, so they're going to have to quickly act quickly and decisively onto this B site. It's basically find a wave of kills and then stack the point word to gyms. I mean, that's basically all you're going to have to do here, but Minnesota, I think, taking their time off the rip, just trying to figure out where everybody at Maui is placed. They are going to find one that's going to influence the spawns. And they do have Star in the back as well, but Rez is keeping everything locked down by bedroom side, and Magic's following suit as well. Zara, though, comes in, says hello from the back. And now they're just going to have to try to make a play, and it looks like Rez going to keep Zara away as well. Man, Minnesota cannot find a single push to save their life right now, but it is worth noting that they are up a tick.
They have the presence now as well. If they get these kills, this gets very dangerous for Maui, and they are. Because now, if Magix goes down, these spawns might go the way of Minnesota. Tenacity does not spot that player behind D2, though. Cannot get that kill. Magic does find it. 7 lives remaining, but, I mean, the ticks are going. You need to go if you're Maui. They're just getting outslayed. They cannot get to the point right now, and now the kills all going the way of Minnesota, and Minnesota will win it in a sweep. That is a phenomenal play out of them. What looked like a very controversial round, I will say, out of them, based on their play call at the start. They were just able to get these kills near this B zone, and they just allowed Maui not to be able to get back in this play.